I do what I do.
Black men all the time. You're free men. And so me telling you who to vote for, if that's against your interests, is not, that's me trying to be your leader, and I'm not your leader. But that being the case, at the stage, let me say it like this. I don't care, or I don't vote for what makes you feel good or look good on social media. Okay, I vote for what puts me, or you should vote for what puts you and your family in a better position tomorrow than you are yesterday. At this stage in my life, I'm a one issue voter. Okay. And that issue is finance, because my finances allow me to take care of my family and to build my businesses and to create jobs and to invest in my son's future and to keep my legacy intact. It's not about greed, it's about responsibility. My financial interests align with the Republican Party at this time. And until that changes, my vote will not change. I don't make emotional decisions. I make strategic ones. So no matter what I see on television, no matter what's trending on social media, it doesn't move me. Because I learned a long time ago, if your emotions control your vote, then somebody else controls your future. I voted my interests. I didn't vote my feelings. I voted for policy that benefits me, my family, and the next generation of Black men who are coming up behind me, because that's what leadership looks like. Now, let's get real specific. I want y'all to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Okay, I need you guys to understand exactly where I'm coming from. Because see, there's a lot of other Black people out there who are similarly situated. All right. I say I'm a one issue voter because I don't deal in emotions and slogans. I deal in numbers. Like most Americans, especially those of us here in Texas, I don't want or need the federal government. I don't want them involved in my day-to-day life. I'm not looking for handouts. I'm not looking for help. I'm just looking to be left alone. Okay. What I mean is I want the government to leave me alone. Okay. So I can build, so I can grow, so I can pass something on to my children, generational wealth wise. And the only interaction I have with the federal government is through my taxes. That's it. I don't take subsidies. I don't depend on grants. My children don't need student loans. I'm not on a government contract. My relationship with the federal government is simple. They collect, I pay. But here's the reality, and I want y'all to understand something. Through those taxes, okay, the federal government becomes 40% my silent partner in my business. They don't work here. They don't stay late. They they don't take calls from clients. But for every single year, they take about 40% of my taxable income. And that's 40% of money that would otherwise go to me, unless there's a Republican in office. Okay, are you guys listening to me? Hit the number 1 button if you can hear me clearly. That's 40% of my hard-earned money every single year. Okay, let me tell you all exactly what that looks like. For me, over the last 2 decades, under George W. Bush, a Republican, I didn't vote for him. Okay, my business thrived. I was expanding, I was hiring, I was investing. My tax burden was light. I was paying a fraction of what I paid later under Democrats. Then came Barack Obama. And during those 8 years, my business still grew because I know how to work and win. But my tax bills exploded year after year. I was paying anywhere from $30,000 to $90,000 in federal taxes every year. And on top of that, I got audited under the Barack Obama administration. Look, Barack Obama told me that I owed him $250,000. And that's not a typo. That's $250,000 they said belonged to them just because I was doing well. And I had to pay it. And then Donald Trump got elected. And for 4 straight years, I paid almost nothing in federal taxes. Not because I cheated, not because I hid money, but because his policies actually rewarded small business owners like me, people who create jobs, not just take them. Okay, shout out to Ms. Mimi Amani Faye. Thank you so much, baby. Okay, so I want you to understand something. So I took those same savings and I expanded my firm and my media projects, and and built out my family's legacy. Then Joe Biden took office, and guess what happened? I was right back to paying $30,000 to $90,000 a year, the same cycle of punishment for my productivity. So when you all add that up, the 8 years of Barack Obama, 4 years of Biden, 12 years where I paid roughly $500,000 to $750,000 in taxes. Let me run that back to you. I paid anywhere from $500,000 to $750,000 in taxes. So those Venezuelan migrants that came here and all those immigrants that are getting $15,000 in benefits every month, that's coming out of my money. Contrast that by the fact that in these Republican years, I paid virtually zero. That's not political theory. That's arithmetic. That's real money that could have gone towards me expanding my office, hiring more staff, or investing in my son's future. But instead, it went to fund a bloated government that doesn't understand or appreciate people who actually drive the economy. So when I say I vote my interests, that's what I mean. I don't vote based on feelings or trends. I vote based on direct cause and effect. I've seen it in my life and my business. The only foolish part of my political journey is that I didn't start voting Republican sooner, right when I became a business owner, because if I had understood back then how federal tax policy truly works, I would have recognized that the Democrat Party economic, or should I say the economic platform, was never designed for people like me, for builders, for earners, for producers and job creators. And let me make this clear. In my financial situation, if it were different, if I worked at a government job, or if I was a member of a union, or if I lived off subsidies, or if I needed some kind of support from the Democrats, something that they offer, then my vote would look different. It wouldn't be in my interest. But that's not my reality. My interests are financial independence, family legacy, freedom from overreach, and those interests align with the Republican Party right now. So when people ask me why I voted for Trump or why I continue to support his presidency, okay, and keep in mind, I am still a registered Democrat. I still don't hesitate because I've already done the math. And for me, the math equals freedom. After living through multiple administrations, Bush 1, Bush 2, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump again, I finally had to admit what the data in my bank account were both telling me. I pay more taxes under Democrats than I do under Republicans. And once you see the pattern clearly, it's hard to unsee it. That's when I realized my financial interests, which represent my ability to take care of my family, my business, my employees, and my legacy, are aligned with the Republican Party, at least on a national level. And that's why I say I vote my interest, okay? Because my vote isn't just about me. It's about the people who depend on me. It's about protecting the fruit of my labor from a government that doesn't help me. It definitely doesn't help me build, but still feels entitled to take what I've earned. So when I tell you my issue is finance, that's not a slogan. That's the reality of being a Black man who builds, a Black man who employs, a Black man who pays. I don't vote for symbolism. I don't vote for emotion. I vote for policy. And that lets me keep what I earn and reinvest into my people, my community, and my legacy. Now, I understood. I want you to understand this. Before I ever voted for Donald Trump, that his election was going to bring about a racially charged environment. I'm not naive. I've studied history. I've lived long enough to recognize the patterns. What's up, everybody? This is the Blizzard King. I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Well, I be damn. Look who done come up in here.
Hey, escuta quem tem, Ebola.
Famine and blood diamond.